Ravi Zacharias. Let's talk about it. Well, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button, all the things to let YouTube people know what's going on. And I want to talk about something that fortunately a lot of people in the church world don't know about. It just creates unnecessary pain. But there are a lot of people who do know about it. And to kind of catch you up to speed, there is a Christian apologist, probably one of the most famous Christian apologists in the world, by the name of Ravi Zacharias. And he passed away about a year ago. And since he had passed away, it has come out that he was involved in some different sexual allegations, possible sexual misconduct. And I just have to say that the ministry that he founded is Ravi Zacharias Ministries, like International, and they just go by RZMI. And what he done is he had created he created his organization and helped put together a lot of other Christian apologists and give them opportunities they wouldn't have had by themselves. And his ministry is doing a lot of great things. And I really have to applaud this organization, because when some of these accusations first came out, I think it was 2017 when he was still alive, he completely denied these things. He said that the lady who accused him was wrong. And I think they ended up kind of settling out a court, signing a non-disclosure agreement, which always kind of goes, if there's smoke, there's fire. But I get it. The organization, when they asked him about it, he said it's foundless, it's baseless. We're just going to do this to make it go away so it doesn't hinder from the ministry, right? Well, then after he passed away, some additional things started to come out where he had been inappropriate at some massage organizations, some spas that he owned, and some things he was doing that wasn't right. And what they did was they hired an independent law firm to come in and to investigate. And I really want to applaud them for that, because they wanted to do the due diligence. And even though they admit that when they first did it, it was really an attempt to clear Ravi's name, they still did it. And then what I really appreciate is, as things started to come out, instead of burying it, it seems as though they just gave them free rein and said, we just want the truth. And then when they gave them the truth, once again, it seems like they just released the truth. And just a little while ago, I think it was a couple days ago, they came out and said that it appears as though many, if not all of the accusations that the women that were willing to talk about it, they're all true. And what also is disturbing is not only were the things that they said true, but there were several people who didn't come forward for all the various really good reasons. They weren't willing to talk publicly or go on the record about it, but it seems as though it wasn't just happening in the twilight of his life, but for years he had used his position to hurt other people, slander other people, sexual misconducts, various different manipulations, just horrible, horrible, horrible. Truly, if the facts are true, and it appears as though they are, truly a wolf in sheep's clothing. And for those of us like me who really thought a lot of Ravi Zacharias, it's a very difficult day. But at the same time, I wanted to turn my camera on because there's always opportunity to grow and to learn from this. And so what I wanted to first of all do is, for everyone like me who really thought a lot of Ravi Zacharias, remember that he wasn't Jesus. He was human, he was flawed. That does not give him any excuse for what he did. But at the same time, remember that what he did does not take away from the grace of God and the salvation that we experience. So we want to pray for all of these women and all the families connected, including the Zacharias family, who are having to deal with the aftermath of what this terrible, terrible person did, terrible broken person did, and all the brokenness that he leaves behind that he can't answer for to us, but obviously he'll answer for it to God. And so we want to put our faith in Jesus, and then also pray for all those who have been wounded and have been broken. And then moving forward, how can we learn and how can we grow? And I want to share with you three things that really bubbled up to the surface for me. First is this, is you got to make sure you keep your faith in Jesus. I get that we want to have heroes, and that's okay. You know, Paul at one point says, follow me as I follow Christ. And I've heard a lot of pastors say, you do that too. You follow me as I follow Christ. Can I say you got to be really careful with that? Paul can say it. He was an apostle of Christ. He saw Jesus on the road to Damascus. He had this vision. He was a very special human being. Be very careful that you put your ultimate faith and your ultimate hope in Jesus, because people will let you down. And that's not me being defeatist or negative. I'm just saying broken people are all around us, and hurting people hurt people. And these people are not superhuman. They are human. And so we don't want to put them on the type of pedestal that if they fall, it shakes our faith. We can be disappointed, but not be discouraged because our God hasn't changed. Here's number 2. That is, you have to have accountability in your life. If someone is not willing to let you in, that's okay. But it's not okay if they don't let anybody in. And especially in ministry, you have to have people in your life, you have permission to be honest with you. They have permission to speak into your life. Now, if you're in here and you're going, okay, I'm going to call my pastor today and I'm going to be honest, that you're not going to get far. You have to earn the right to be heard, because a lot of people want to attack other things. A true friend is someone who will point out an area they're concerned with, and then they don't go anywhere. Then they sit down and they say, how are we going to work through it together? But I want to say, if you're a pastor and you're a leader, don't be afraid to pray and ask God for accountability in your life. It is in a multitude of counselors that you have wisdom. Here's number 3, and that is, be someone who they can be accountable to. I'm walking right now with several people, both in ministry and out of ministry, who they are terrified to let the people around them know what is truly going on in their life, because many of us judge ourselves by our intentions, but judge others by their actions. In other words, if you're dealing with a sin issue, and most of us have something in our life that we'd rather not be there, you give yourself the benefit of the doubt, right? You didn't mean it that way. You had better intentions and bad things happen, and you let yourself off the hook all the time. Yet we don't tend to give that same grace to other people, do we? We tend to judge them by what they did and what they should have done and how they did act and all that. And because of that, I know people right now that need desperate help. They need therapy. They need to remove themselves from their job. They need to remove themselves from a ministry. They need to remove themselves from things and stuff. They desperately need that, but they are terrified as to what will happen to them if they got honest. And it puts them in a very difficult place, because they are afraid that if they get honest and admit that they're human, their whole life will be destroyed. And you know what? I don't blame them, because we tend to in the Christian church, we tend to cannibalize our wounded, don't we? And so what I want to ask you to do is 3 things. Keep your faith, number 1, in Jesus. Number 2, if you're in a position of leadership, put accountability around you. What is the old phrase? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And then number 3, be the kind of person that other people can trust. If you have a secret, it's not your secret to share. It is their secret to share. You hold that in trust. You let people be honest with you. I've had an opportunity with somebody one time, and this guy, I hadn't known him for 30 minutes, and he started opening his heart and telling me all of the things going on in his life. And when I asked him later, I said, why were you so honest? And he just said, I was so tired of keeping secrets. And the thing is you don't know me. At the time, you didn't know me. You can't hurt me. And I just wanted someone to talk to. And it broke my heart, because this guy had no one close to him that he could talk to. Why don't you let that be you? Why don't you be a secret keeper? Why don't you hold something in trust? Why don't you say, I'm going to walk with you and I'm not going to tell your secrets. What I am going to do is I'm going to pray for God to convict you until he either delivers you or he exposes you, but I'm not going to do it. And when you do that, I think you're going to help people get to that next place. For those of you who've been hurt by the Ravi Zacharias ministry, Jesus is still for you. He still loves you. Don't let that ruin your faith in him, or ruin your faith in many other Christian leaders who are doing the very best that we can to speak life to you. But at the same time, don't put your faith and hope in us. Put your faith and hope in Jesus Christ. I love you so much. I will see you next time on More Like Jesus Every Day.